Welcome to Module 3 of Business Case Architecture, Commercial Reality. Over the last two modules, we have built a beautiful machine. We ensured your project is strategically aligned with the CEO's North Star. We stripped away the static arithmetic and built a dynamic, stress-tested financial engine. If you stop there, your business case looks perfect. But it is entirely theoretical. It exists inside the boardroom bubble. Today, we are going to pop that bubble. We are talking about the spreadsheet illusion and why flawless financial models consistently fail upon contact with the customer. Mike Tyson famously said, "Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face." In business, your spreadsheet is the plan. The customer is the punch. When you sit in Excel and type 10% month-over-month customer growth, the spreadsheet just accepts it. It doesn't argue. It doesn't ask you why a customer would switch from a competitor. It doesn't care that your target audience is tired, skeptical, and completely ignoring your marketing. The spreadsheet simply returns a massive net present value and tells you that you are going to be rich. This creates the spreadsheet illusion, the dangerous executive belief that because the maths works, the market will comply. Today, I am going to teach you how to build a commercial case based on absolute, undeniable market gravity. Let's start with the most common and arguably the most lazy commercial argument in modern business: the top-down market sizing. I see this in almost every pitch deck. The sponsor says, "The global logistics software market is worth £100 billion. It is massive. If we can capture just 1% of this market, we will be a billion-pound company." It sounds logical, but it is a commercial fantasy. It completely ignores the brutal mechanics of customer acquisition. Nobody is going to hand you 1% of a market just because you showed up. Markets are not empty spaces waiting to be filled. They are fiercely defended territories. Every single customer in that 1% is currently spending their money with someone else. To win them, you don't just have to be good. You have to be so overwhelmingly superior that it justifies the massive operational pain of switching providers. Instead of top-down delusion, world-class executives use bottoms-up analysis. You do not start with £100 billion. You start with one customer. You ask, who, exactly, is the specific human being that will buy this? Let's say it's the operations director at a mid-sized UK haulage firm. How many of those firms exist? Let's say there are 4,000. How are we going to reach them? We will use a direct sales team. How many calls does a rep need to make to get a meeting? 100. How many meetings turn into a pilot? 1 in 10. When you do the maths from the bottom up, factoring in your actual sales capacity, you realize that 1% might require a sales team of 500 people you don't have. Bottoms-up analysis forces you to prove that you have the operational vehicle to actually extract the money from the market. Once you have sized the market realistically, you have to prove that they actually want what you are building. This is where we run into confirmation bias. When executives try to validate a business case, they usually commission a survey. They ask, "If we built a software that saves you time, would you pay for it?" And 80% say, "Yes, absolutely." They take this to the board, build it, and nobody buys it. Human beings are terrible at predicting their own behavior. To break the illusion, you must stop asking for opinions and start demanding behavioral evidence. Ask, how are you currently solving this problem? If the customer says, "Well, it's annoying, but we just use a free Google Sheet," you do not have a business case. They will not buy your premium solution. If they say, "I currently pay 2 assistants $30,000 to manually reconcile this data," now you have commercial reality. You have identified a bleeding neck. In your business case, do not quote theoretical surveys. Quote actual, historical purchasing behavior. Finally, we must address the incumbent advantage. Your model assumes your adoption curve will be smooth. It assumes the market will seamlessly migrate. This is commercially naive. It ignores switching costs. In B2B, Switching to a new product is an operational nightmare. It requires retraining staff and migrating data. It requires taking on the massive career risk that your new solution might fail. If your software is only 10% better, they will not switch. To compel a switch, your solution needs to be a 10x improvement. It must be 10 times faster, 10 times cheaper, or 10 times more effective. When you present to the board, you must explicitly audit the switching cost. Look the CEO in the eye and say, "We know the switching cost is $10,000. Here is our exact strategy to subsidize that transition, absorb that pain, and make moving to us an absolute no-brainer." If your business case does not account for the friction of adoption, it is a work of fiction. Let's summarize. The spreadsheet illusion is the belief that a perfectly modeled projection guarantees market success. It does not. Here is your mentorship challenge for today. Open the commercial section of your current business case. Look at your primary target customer. Have you calculated the cost to switch? If not, your revenue projections are an illusion. Thank you for your time. I will see you in lesson 2.